like with its stage, oh, you can buy the bed, and then the refrigerator can be in there, and another one of the rooms and things like that. So, and then hearing a story about how he listed and sold the place across the street. Yeah, dude's a pro, man.
All right,
You
so
got
today's
it.
Monday. We got buyer follow up for all that information we collected, right?
Yep.
So you got some good leads to follow up with this morning, then?
I got one.
Okay, perfect.
I got one. I called them yesterday, no answer, so I'm going to call again today.
Okay, perfect.
So. And then I'm out of town next week.
So, is there an objection that we're getting? Is there a topic of discussion that we can help overcome or work around that's happening in the language of real estate in our conversations that we engage in? Something you're hearing on the street that we can help enhance our presentations with our clients and follow up or prospecting? Interest rates are a topic today since they are going up. And so what's some dialogue around that perhaps?
Well, that's a good one.
How about I'm a seller that wants to take advantage of the market and sell, but then rent. So, I feel like it's the market to sell, but, I don't want to buy. I'm just going to get a place to rent for a while, see what happens in the market.
Okay, so we're going to be over the phone, okay, Jose? So, Jose, I really want to take advantage of the market today from a seller's side, but I feel very disadvantaged in the market from a buyer's perspective. Yeah. Having, multiple offers, which I'll experience in my listing, and then, getting hit with a high interest rate. Now they're right around 5s. And so maybe I'm just going to, pull the plug on buying, hunker down and rent for a little bit and see if prices start to level out.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Todd. Yeah, no, I definitely get where you're coming from as far as the market and, being with what's happening with inflation and the war going on. Definitely taking advantage of the seller's market and try to get as much money as you can for your property, which is what you want, right, Todd?
That's correct. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then definitely looking at the other side, which is the buying side, where it is a little bit more struggling, and where buyers are struggling in this market because they got to compete with multiple offers and have that challenge where it's escalating higher. Is that right, Todd?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, really, I want to see prices begin to level out. I want to, it's always the case, sell high, buy low.
Right, absolutely. And me being a professional in the field, I don't know what's going to happen in the near future. But we can't predict what the market's going to happen. But what I can tell you is what we know now. We're always going to be selling in a market we're buying, right? Whether we're going to be selling, we can cap out, and then maybe prime time whether you're looking to downsize or upsize, Todd. So, what is your main? Why do you need to sell?
Well, I just, I really don't need all the square footage on my home currently. That's basically it. I mean, besides getting the biggest amount of money that I can out of this house and selling it at the top of the market, it's not that I can't maintain the house or have anything else to do with that. I can. There's just square footage I don't use. I thought now would be a good time to take advantage of selling at a high point, but I'm really discouraged about, putting myself back in the position of a buyer with high interest rates. And so I just, may consider renting for a couple of years and then seeing where things and how things lay out. There's a lot of weird stuff happening in and around the world and domestically and internationally in the markets.
Yeah, definitely agree. So why have you considered other options, and why not just keep it as a rental, and just from there you keep on getting equity from that, you know, with how much the property increases year to year. I mean, year to year, property has increased 22% here in the Snohomish County area. Why not just keep it for another year and then increase the another equity, see what happens, and maybe if interest rates, you know, go down, and then we can just get you into a smaller place.
Well, you know, I guess I could. I guess you know, I might consider that, but I'm really thinking about taking advantage of selling high, and I don't want to buy high as well.
Okay. Well, let's do this, Todd. Let's sit down. We can talk over your options,
Okay.
and you know, let you know how much you're going to be walking away with today, and then we can go over your other options as well. Does tomorrow at 4 p.m. work for you?
Yeah, it sure does.
Sounds
You
good.
bet. Cool. Cool. Nice. Then you're going to come over and work me over, and yeah. Okay. So, you know, throwing it out there, why would somebody believe that it's a winning strategy not to purchase right now? How could you convince them and help persuade them that it's not necessarily a winning strategy to wait and rent? Okay.
So the one thing that people don't take into account is that we all know for the appreciation factor is running double digits, right? It's been running double digits now for a good couple, 3 years. Now, Jose's right. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but we know what's kind of predictable by just going off of the employment rate, the jobs coming in, and then so we got the demand, and now we bounce that against with what we see in the market versus supply. There's going to be an imbalance for quite some time. So home appreciation is going to continue through 2022. Just how much is anyone's guess. Okay. But on the flip side of that, what's happening as home prices have climbed, right? It's knocked a lot of home buyers out of the market, right? And it's thrown them, you still need housing, and so it's thrown them into the rental market. And so now what we've seen is that the rental rates have been climbing double digit. Nationally, it was 15.5% rents increased year over year. Washington, I want to say it was in the 20s, 20% increase. And so, I understand you want to take advantage of the market in regards to selling, and by all means, this is your moment in time. But in order to, you still are looking to make a purchase, downsizing, holding off for a year or two, waiting for home prices to come down or for interest rates to come down, you're just going to see your costs actually go up, because as rents are going to continue to climb. It's just a given fact. Whether it's this, we've seen what's going to happen this year and what's going to happen in the future. I would highly encourage that we sit down, get an idea of what you're going to net on the sale, okay, and then get an idea of what you're looking for in regards to your next home. And let's see what those prices look like. And then combine your down payment and then what today's interest rates are. What's that monthly payment versus your rental payment for the equivalent of what you're looking to purchase? Because I can tell you right now, number for number, my money says that buying your next home today versus next year or the year after is going to be negative money.
Cool. Awesome. Great job. Next. Who's next? Who wants to tackle?
Well, I would say definitely if you going to go ahead and sell your property and rent, you might as well take advantage of the rental. And instead of buying a home, you should buy an investment property or multiplex to be able to put other renters in there with you. That way your rent is getting paid for and you're making money over time, while the fact that you're waiting for that downsized property, you're making equity in the property, you're making extra money from your renters. And when that time comes, the market does go down, the interest rates go down, you can make your move and then go ahead and flip that and then buy your next property.
So what I hear you saying is I can rent from myself.
Correct.
I can be my tenant and the landlord.
Yes.
All right. Good,
I like
good.
that.
Awesome. Great. We're getting some good ideas. Who's next? We'll stick on this subject. We'll work it around the room, work it around the table. Okay, Mike, thanks for volunteering.
I was literally clicking the button. No joke.
I can feel it.
So, you're talking about continuing to rent, and if we sit down and we look at the numbers, you're going to continue to throw $2,400 a month out the door and over to someone else who owns a property who's making equity on their place, where you could take the money that you have in savings that we've discussed and put it down on a house and start paying yourself. This money is going to accrue because we've seen equity build up in homes just go skyrocketing over the last couple of years. So you're investing in yourself, and you can continue to bring in more money that way instead of just throwing it into the wind to a renter.
Good. Awesome. I'm collecting. I'm putting everyone's bullets on my belt right now. I am getting fully loaded. That was good.
I think somewhere in the conversation it has to be discussed that because of the appreciation of the prices, I know Zillow's not something to look at, but I was absolutely, when I looked at my price the other day, my house equity appreciated $49,000 in 30 days, which is that's just crazy talk. But if you're gonna take advantage of that equity and you're gonna cash that out, and you're talking about rent,
I mean this is what I'm talking about though. As a buyer, how long can this actually last? Why would I want to be a buyer in that kind of market?
Well, you can either pay your mortgage or you can pay someone else's mortgage. It's pretty simple. If you're going to pay $2,400 a month, why not pay your own mortgage rather than paying somebody else's mortgage?
Well, because what I'm thinking is I don't want to have to pay $80,000 to $150,000 for a house that I might not be really happy with because there's really no inventory. Maybe waiting and renting for a little bit, I can sort of watch and go as I
so if
come,
houses are going up and maybe find that
and maybe find the house and maybe find the house that I would want instead of having to jump right in and overpay for something that I would have to settle for.
It'd be better to overpay now than overpay next year, because either way you're going to overpay. Houses are not going south. Houses are not going to go down in value. Appreciation is not going to ever go underneath. And if you did, let's say next year prices maybe drop 50,000 or 75,000. If interest rates only go up 2% in that same time period, you're still paying more money in a monthly payment. I mean, you got to think about how much money you're spending. It's not what you pay for the house; it's what the interest rate is. Because you got to look at what you're expending monthly. You're talking about a house payment. I'm talking about interest payments. Interest rates have already gone up a quarter point. They're going to go up another quarter point by the end of this year, at least, probably twice. So you wait 12 months. To get into a house, you're gonna pay someone. Just in my mind, there's better ways for you to spend your money, or for me to spend my money.
Okay. All right. Good.
I mean, I don't mean to sound argumentative to you. I don't mean to sound like a know-it-all, but the fact of the matter is that properties are appreciating, interest rates are going up. If you take advantage of your equity now, you need to buy another house so that you can continue to take advantage of the appreciation that's going on every month. And you need to lock in an interest rate to where your payment's not $300 or $500 more a month.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'll put that bullet in my belt. Okay. I love just all these different perspectives on the same issue. Okay. All sounding pretty much the same, but coming at it from different angles on the table. All right. Who's next? Oh, go, Marilee, go.
One thing I've noticed, and I was talking to some clients who are moving in from out of state, and they arrived yesterday, and he's like, we were talking about the same issues that we're talking about today, and he also mentioned he doesn't like all the split levels in our area. And I told him a split level is amazing. Yes, there appears to be quite a few here, and it's amazing because you can turn the bottom into a separate living quarter. And a lot of them have already been converted, I've noticed when I'm out showing these houses. So it's pretty easy to do, and it can become passive income. And so that's one thing we were talking about yesterday, about buying now and then trying to make some passive income out of the certain style of homes that we appear to have quite a bit of here.
Also, they allowed here in Snohomish County, you probably know a little bit more, Todd, as far as allowing the detached dwelling units that they're going to be allowing. So like if you had a bigger lot.
Yeah, in Everett particularly.
Okay. Not so much in Marysville?
No, it's happening a lot more in Everett because of the alley access.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's another way too. So.
You bet. You bet. All right, Werner.
I have no bullet to add here. What I miss here is, sorry, maybe a little bit off, but if someone is like just approved for 450 or 500,000 at the moment, it is almost impossible to find a decent house.
Okay. What I like to, buyers never want to hear the word no. Buyers don't want to hear the word it's not available. Buyers don't want to hear the word you're searching for a purple unicorn in the blue forest. They don't want to hear that what they believe does not exist. So I do not want to tell them, you're not going to find it, even though I know it ain't going to happen, because there's going to be some schlum out there. Yeah, I can help you find what you want. Yeah, you mean you talk to Todd and it says it's impossible to find a house? Sure glad you're not working with him anymore. Ha, ha, ha. Right? Okay. There's going to be some schlum out there that's going to tell them what they want to hear.
Of course, yes. I never tell them possible, of course.
And so I never want to tell them no. I always do a consultation. And through the consultation, through the video, the marketplace tour that I'll do, and say, okay, great. You're hungry for a house. You have a preloaded credit card for $450,000. Welcome to the table. Let's open up the menu and see what we can order. And I open up the MLS. Here's the MLS. And I'm like, okay, folks, what are you hungry for? All right, we're hungry for Arlington, Marysville, and we'll take all these. We'll start with that. Okay, great. Well, now you're approved up to 450. Yeah, we're going to max out at 450. Okay, so we're going to start here on the menu between 300 to 450. Yes, and then I'm just in all of Snohomish right now. We're looking at the whole menu. In all of Snohomish, between 300 and 450, there are 8. But here's the good news. You only need to buy one. You don't need to buy all 8. So we still have some room here on the menu to eat from, okay? So now let's look into the areas that you're looking for. Let's look deeper into the menu. And oh my gosh, look, we only have 2 available. Did I tell you how the MLS works? The MLS works in such a way that every single home that's available, that's offered, bank-owned, foreclosure, HUD, standard listing, irregular listing, it's all going to show up right here. And from here, it's syndicated through Zillow, through Redfin, through whatever search engine site, mobile app whizbingbang.com thing. It all comes from this spot right here. So you're looking at the true menu of items. Now, let's take a look at what's available for you. Ooh, what do you think? Oh, that's right.
Far more positive.
It's not happening. And they're like, oh my gosh, really? God darn, man. I was really hoping there'd be something here for you. I was really, really hopeful for you. Now, what do we have what can we control? Because people like to, when they get to the sensation of like, I want my warm milk. Okay. It's a natural reaction. When they come face to face with reality that they ain't going to get, a double dip ice cream cone, on a single scoop budget. So, oh, I miss you guys. Oh, I miss you guys.
You're waiting for that one, huh?
Oh man, I've been working it up all morning. So folks, one thing I can feel this discouragement, and I feel it with you. When we hit these points, and it doesn't happen very often, but in your scenario, you can only afford what you can afford. And I'm going to be here with you through this process. And because it doesn't exist today, it may or may not exist tomorrow. It could, but I'm not sure. Very limited inventory, and prices are going up, as you can see, as we discussed earlier on these charts that we talked about. What is it that we can control? What is it here on this menu we can control in regards to our appetite for what it is we want? We want a home. Okay. So is there any flexibility outside this area that we can take a look at? Okay, I know you didn't say Skagit County, and I know Mount Vernon were like, but I'm going to look at that for you. So let's turn the page on the menu. Let's go up to, look, in Skagit County, there's only 2 up there as well. God, I know it's tough out there. How far east are you willing to go? To Sultan? Let's rearrange this. Let's look at Monroe, Gold Bar, Sultan. I mean, the outer areas of Granite Falls as well, maybe way out there in Snohomish. Let's see what's out there. There's nothing out there at all either. Okay, it's going to be tough. So what options do we have in order to work around this? Because I don't believe it's going to get any better. So what other options do you have? Have you looked at gift funds from a rich relative? So added, unless you can go to your boss and ask for an $8 to a $10 raise to help, increase your income so you can finance more.
I just had a client do that. Yeah, they raised his income. It takes a while though, because they have to get paychecks.
So at this point in time, Werner, I'm not telling them no. I'm not gonna be the one telling them. They're gonna see it right there on the big screen on that computer as we do the virtual tour of all these other areas, and they're gonna be like, wow.
Todd, may I say something to this? Of course, I never said no. I even went further. I showed them 3 houses or more, Look, that's what you get for this money. And this scared them away. It's just,
Well, that's, and sometimes, that is okay to do. And it's a gentle release. It's a gentle release. I always like to, end, with some type of a positive, but, having somebody call, hey, I'm looking for this and I want that, and why can't you find it? And I am not the one that stocks the shelves. This is part of my buyer presentation too, because I don't have these issues about people that I can't find what I want, because I have my buyer consultation in the beginning settles that. I never have that issue because I handle it in the beginning in this. And I am a professional buyer's agent, which means I'm not the one unloading the trucks and stocking the shelves with inventory. I'm the person who's going to go shopping with you down every single aisle until we find the product that we want. Then I'm going to help you negotiate that by putting it in your basket and heading to the express checkout. So if it's not on the shelf, I don't create it. I can't create inventory for you. I can only help you shop and negotiate and get it in your basket. And if it's not on the shelf, there's nothing we can do.
Yep. Yeah.
When I say nothing we can do, nothing I can do.
Yes.
And then
I tell them that the market is ever live, always changing. People get divorced, they get married, they move, they change jobs. So just hang in there. Something will come up.
And then the topic generally turns to this. Well, Todd, what if we find a piece of land and we can build what we want?
Sure.
Oh, Todd.
That's an idea.
We can buy a lot for $150,000, and we have $450,000. We can build a house for $300,000. Todd, Jose, can you help me with that?
Todd, that is.
Be careful, because that's where these conversations turn.
I get a lot of, actually, I get people who come in on land with the dream. And I tell them, you know, out of 100 people, we get maybe one makes it all the way through. I kind of explain the process, but I do tell them, let's set you up a portal. Let's get you pre-approved. However, let's go ahead and set you up with a portal for an already stick-built resi on a piece of land. You know, a house that's already ready to go, and you can have 2 portals. Let's look at both. And I just closed on a $700,000, you know, manufactured home on a piece of land, and she approached me on a $200,000 lot. So I do 2 portals. I send them in both directions.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask other people here. So when you do, you know, like a buyer consultation, I know that when you're showing homes and whatever it's available in inventory, you know, that what you see the list price, that's just the starting point. Because typically I kind of like to prepare them, and I like to just show them, hey, what has sold in the last 7 days. I know it's yesterday news, but I just show them between their price range what has sold. And they're like within the last 3 days. And then I say, hey, you know, this one just sold. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and you're looking for 3-bedroom, 2 bath, and it's in your price range, right? And it sold for $50,000 over asking. The next one, $25,000 over asking. Next one, $100,000. Next one, 20. So they're just like, I'm showing them like, okay, what you see, it's not gonna go on that price.
In your buyer presentation, in your buyer consultation, that's the point. You say, you know, here's what I'm going to talk about multiple offers now, and here's what you're going to about ready to begin to experience, and let me show you. Versus sitting down with them and saying, Jose, guess what? You're going to spend $50,000 more over list price, maybe even $80,000. Yeah. And they're going to like, well, no, I don't want to. I'm going to find a different realtor that will, now I won't have to spend 50 to 80. Well, yeah, that's where the market's happening. And when you can pull up examples of properties that have sold, okay, pull up a list of sold properties right there within the last 60 to 90 days, folks. Here's an example of homes that you are looking for that have just recently closed. Here is the list price. Here is the sales price. Do you notice a distinction between the two? And I'm not telling them, look, they're $50,000 over. I'm like, do you see the distinction between the list price and the sales price? What is that distinction? And they're going to say, wow, it went over 50,000. Yep. That one, how about that one? Well, that one went over, then they're going to say that one went over 80,000. Yeah, it did. How about that one? Well, that one went over 40,000. So folks, chances are you're going to have to, you know, follow what is occurring in the market.
In today's market.
Yeah. All right. Well,
one other thing real quick. I did have a client one time tell me they're pre-approved and it was only for like say 400,000. I went looking for homes, couldn't find anything. I showed them a few, but was out there, weren't interested. They kind of went to the wayside. Long story short, they ended up buying a place, and I'm like, what the heck just happened? I saw it on Facebook, and the home sold for $425,000. And so a lot of times buyers are telling their lender what they're comfortable with. And so you got to kind of follow up with the lender and ask them, hey, is 400 truly their cap? Or are they able to go 4.25 or 450? That way, if you know that information, then you can kind of steer the conversation to maybe we should open our budget a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you were here, get to the office for the sales meeting. If you can't make it to the office for the sales meeting, that just means more pizza for me, and I don't need it. So just come to the sales meeting and eat the pizza so you can help me with